nobody goes to law school to defend vehicle and traffic cases. It's one of these things that you wind up doing for a friend, and you say, well, I can do that. And one thing leads to another, and I personally started out Brooklyn Criminal Court. I was on the 18B panels. I was on the murder panel. And I found that a vehicle and traffic law case, my file consists of the ticket, a data sheet, and a copy of the check. That's a lot better than the files that are that thick and closing your practice for 2 or 3 weeks to try a murder case. So I decided to concentrate at that point. I am not, although as Joe said, I have lectured extensively in the past. I don't do it for a living, and I certainly don't do it all that often. So I jump around a lot. You'll have to forgive me for those things. I'm not a linear person. I think it's maybe it's a gender thing. My ex-wife was the most linear person I ever met in my life. Could go from point A to point B quicker than anybody I really have ever met. Of course, her premise was always wrong, but that's so she's an ex-wife, I guess. Please, I'm not a misogynist. I really am not. Okay. Starting off, we're going to start with here in the city, Western Suffolk and upstate Rochester and Buffalo. Traffic courts are called the Traffic Violations Bureau. They're a division of the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles. It's a very incestuous relationship because the judges, we call them judges. They call themselves administrative law judges. They really are hearing officers. They really don't have the title of judge. But if you ever want to win a case, you better call them a judge. They are employees of the department, and they have to answer to the department. I don't know how many of you can see the tie I'm wearing today. It was given to me. I was part of a Secret Santa at the Queens North Traffic Court, maybe 10 years ago. And my name was drawn by the toughest judge there, Judge Dawn, as a practitioner can attest to. And he gave me this tie. Now, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a kangaroo, or kangaroos holding the scales of justice. TVB is your ultimate kangaroo court. The judges know it, the lawyers know it. Unfortunately, the motorists know it, the cops know it. You really have to disprove the people's case. And you have to sort of prove your own case, which is clearly a shifting of the burden, but it's an administrative agency. It is not a court of law. Beyond a reasonable doubt has no place there. The standard is by clear and convincing evidence. These judges are convinced very easily, not by the defendants, but by the police officers. Somebody gets a ticket. They look at it. On the face of it, in red, it says, you must answer this within 15 days. If you don't answer, your license will be suspended and subsequently revoked. And the 15 days is really arbitrary and artificial. It's about 43 days before it hits the computer, and they start sending out notices saying, you didn't answer the ticket. Come on. We can't sit. I guess you can't sit there. They send out a notice saying, you didn't answer the ticket. Your license is going to be suspended in 3 or 4 weeks hence. If you don't answer it a month after that, you will be default convicted. And when that happens, they enter suspensions, default convictions. You have points. People are not going to hire you, by the way, or shouldn't be hiring you to save money on the fine. Your fees should be much higher than the fines. They're doing it to save the points, and that's the essence of everything. There's different ways of pleading guilty or not guilty. I'm sorry. People ask, should I just plead guilty? Be aware that it's an absolute fact of life. If you plead guilty, you lose 100% of the time. You plead not guilty, you have a chance. It's not a statistical anomaly. 100% of the time, if you plead guilty, so your client doesn't need you to do that, they can do that on their own. You go in, if you know what you're doing, and you play the system, as it were, as much as you can